refuse to not be first.
Do we do enough? Well, I never shut up about it.
It must have been about 16, 17. We nicked their guilt rings. Right, the bouncer's guilt ring.
This is no good for me. That's the reality. If you want the honest truth, and I see it every day.
Razaban IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. Delighted to have with me former world champion Charlie Edwards. Charlie, it's been a while. How are we?
Yeah, it's been a very long time. That introduction, I'm getting sick of being called a former. It's about time I get my arse into gear and get another one, isn't it? But yeah, it's been a very tough time, very crazy time. I'm a free agent now. I've been in talks with a few of the promoters and I'm going to be out very soon. We've got a fight date. I just can't announce it yet until they put it out. But yeah, finally back. The last year and 4 months since I've been out of the ring, been a very dark time, very hard time, which I really can't go into for legal purposes and reasons. But I've stayed true to myself. I've been putting in the work. I've been developing immensely. I've grown out and filled out into a fully fledged bantamweight. And once this journey starts taking off in a not too near future, it's going to be all systems go. And all this time, all this hard work, all this energy that I've put into living and breathing the life of boxing, it's going to show. And I'm excited. And you know, this time, I think I had like a realisation the other day that I believe this time, I'm grateful for it. Because I wouldn't be the man I am today, I wouldn't be the person I am, and I wouldn't be the fighter I am today. It's given me time to really develop as a bantamweight, and it will all show. And I look forward to it.
I remember speaking to you when you kind of teamed up with Joe Gallagher a couple of years ago now, and you went through a similar period then where a lot of things were happening outside of the ring. You obviously moved to Portugal as well, had a baby as well, so a lot was happening. You teamed up with Joe, you got a couple of fights under Joe, so, and I know you said there's a lot of legal stuff going on, but where are you in terms of that relationship with Joe? Are you still with Joe? Are you not with Joe? And why go for another phase of having a considerable amount of time outside of the ring, which, as you know, for fighters, you need to stay active?
Well, I got fucked really with the COVID hitting me at the wrong time, and then after the COVID hit, that put me out of the ring. I was a fighter on a lot of money where it was going to cost a lot to put me on the shows, you know. And then after that, I switched. And it just things didn't materialise, you know. I got to be careful what I say here, because I don't want to get myself in any trouble. But when I moved to Portugal and I was leaving, I'm in an RM whether I wanted the sport of boxing. This time, it's not been anything about that. I've been living and breathing the sport in the gym, week in, week out, day in, day out, always training, always developing, and it's something that I really can't go into. Like, I can't really discuss it because I could get myself into a lot of trouble. But I'm a free agent now, and that's all I can say on that. It took a long time to get me to a free agent, but I'm a free agent, and since then we've had conversations with promoters, and we're working on something which we have got in place, and I'm going to be in the ring in the not too distant future. It's very close now. So just keep your eyes peeled, you know, because I'm about to announce things, but I can't really say yet.
What brings you out here, Birmingham Boxer Show? Obviously, Buatsi returns back. Got some great fights. Tyler Denny. We got Lauren Price on the card for the first ever British title. So yeah, what brings you out here?
Buatsi's a good friend of mine. We was on GB together. We're fellow Croydon boys. And seeing him sign with Sky, it was nice to see, and it was just interesting me to come down here. I'm only like an hour and a half away from me drive anyway, so it's nice to get out to the boxing shows, you know. Now my career's about to take off again. It's nice to get my face amongst the fans again, start speaking, which I've got to be grateful for, you know. Like, even though I've been away from the scene, albeit I've been working very hard behind the scene, which no one's seen, and they're not only going to see that until I put in the performances, and they're not soon. But I've got to show a lot of love, respect to all the fans in boxing who still continue to ask me for photos, still talk to me, still give me their time and day. Like, I'm blessed because although I've been away from it, I still have a lot of love and appreciation, and people are asking me all the time, when you're fighting, and I wish I could tell them the answers and tell them why, but I just can't. And yeah, it will all make sense. And like I said, this time will show show. I believe, I'm a firm believer, this time probably had to happen to make me the man I am today, the fighter I am today, and the person that is going to deliver big.
I appreciate that, and listen, I won't continue to press on this. I appreciate there's a lot going on in the background, but I got to ask you, sometimes when there's family feud, family problems, sometimes they're best kept behind closed doors. Your brother signs with Sonny signs with Eddie Hearn. You make a video.
You call him Charlie?
No.
Oh, he's gonna hate
No. I didn't call him Charlie. Sonny Edwards signs with Eddie Hearn. You then make a video, and listen, I don't really want to ignite anything here, but what's the purpose of going public with a behind the scenes family issue? Why do we all need to know about that?
It's not really a behind the scenes family issue. It was tongue in cheek, to be fair. Like when you're ready and you're moving up to bantamweight, you know, because he said he's called me out on plenty of times, and he says he's a better brother than me all the time. So it was a kind of a tongue in cheek thing, you know. And what's going on? You good? And yeah, it worked though. It got people talking. We've always talked about fighting one another. And listen, we're not like two Mexicans who are going to stand in a phone box and punch each other's heads in until we're like damaged. You know what I mean? Like, we're not the biggest punchers. Like, let our records say that. We're both great boxers. Some will say he's better than me, but I believe I'm better than him. And he would say he's better than me, and then I say I'm better than him. So like, it's one of them ones where like we've got sibling rivalry. You know, we always want to prove who's better than one another. So one day it potentially could happen, and if it's built in the correct way, it would be the smartest business move from Sonny to fight. Don't get me wrong, the fight would be competitive and would be real, but we could earn more money fighting one another when we've sparred thousands and thousands of rounds together than we would fight another world champion, you know. And we live in a world of social media and freak shows and the circus, and it gets people's attention, you know. And it's mad, but by all means, like, I think we're both down to put it on the line at some stage, whether that's years down the line, do you know what I mean? Whether that's 3 years down the line, it's something that can build. But I've got a lot of love for my little brother. I do. Like, you do love, you've got a lot of love for each other, and we know that deep down, and we always will have that. But we both want to prove who's better, and that's just the way it is.
Is the relationship still cordial? You're still on good terms? I know a lot has happened in the past, but are you on talking terms?
Yes and no. Yes and no. We have a little bit back and forwards. I think I rattled him a little bit by doing what I did, which is funny because like my brother's always the one rattling other people. So it's like we've known each other, we've grown up for each other, we know how to get amongst each other's skin. So you know, it got people talking. It got my face back in the headlines and in the lights, which I needed to do. And he's done it with me previously after I fought Martinez, said he would beat him straight away. So we've always had this back and forth tongue in cheek. He's always said he'll beat me in interviews and he's the better brother. So it's just a bit of back and forth tongue in cheek, and one day it probably will materialise. And yeah.
Okay, Charlie, well, thank you for clarifying that with your brother. We look forward to some fighting news for yourself, and it'd be great to see you back in the ring, because you know you did show that you are capable of beating some of the great champions, and you were a WBC champion once upon a time, and hopefully see you champion again.
Listen, I won a world title at flyweight. Should never have been a flyweight. Look at the size of me. That's real talk. Wait till you see me back at bantamweight. That's all I'm going to say on that. I'm going to not talk it, I'm going to show you all, and stay tuned because it's going to be exciting.
Charlie Edwards, IFL TV, thank you very much.
Because I refuse to not be first.
Do we do enough? Well, I never shut up about it.
It must have been about 16, 17. We nicked their guilt rings. Right, the bouncer's guilt ring.
This is no good for me. That's the reality. If you want the honest truth, and I see it every day,